A feature that has been much requested and a long time coming has finally landed. Wahoo's version of Climb Pro, which they're calling Summit Segments. Pulling up a quick overview of what this is all about before getting out on the road for some hands-on. This works with predefined routes, much like Climb Pro on the Garmin side of things. It will automatically detect climbs on that route that are at least 500 meters in length and at least 3% in grade. On the units, you'll get a climb summary list. You'll get alerts popping up when you're approaching climbs and when you're on the climb. You'll get real-time information about how you're tracking and how far the summit is. The supported units for this feature are the Roam, the Roam 2 and the Bolt 2. These are the units that have more capacity and higher detailed mapping and elevation information, so these are the ones that are compatible. Configuration-wise, as with all things Wahoo, it's very straightforward. As long as you have the latest firmware on your Element unit and the mobile app updated, the Element Companion app that is, you just simply load it up and scroll down to down here, Summit Segments. And by default, it's enabled there at the top. You can enable or disable the feature as a whole. You can have automatic page change. So when you're approaching a climb and when you're on the climb, it'll flip to the climbing details. Notifications on other pages. So if you are on another page, you can still get information on the climb. Enabled during planned workouts is also an option to toggle on or off. And that's it for the configuration. All right, let's have a look at this in action out on the road. Okay, here we are on the side of the road just to start the climb section of my standard 5 climbs loop here in Ballarat. I am in the car for this one. I did record this a few days earlier on the bike. They did change the functionality just a little bit though, and you'll see why I'm in the car in just a few moments. The weather's not that great. Okay, loading up the predefined route here on both units. Scrolling down to the 5 climbs loop on the Roam 2. It's already loaded there on the Bolt 2. And 5 climbs loop. Okay, loading that up. Functionality wise, you'll see both units are pretty much one for one the same. You're just looking at different screen sizes on the both. Alrighty, both loaded. Okay, looking at the elevation overview, which isn't part of this new feature, but we can see the climbs there. But if we click on climbs, we'll get a summary of the upcoming climbs. Now, there's more screen real estate on the Roam 2, so I don't have to scroll down and see the 5th climb detected. But I do have to scroll there on the Bolt 2 to see that information. All right, let's get up the road and on to the first climb. Okay, at 200 meters before the climb starts, we get a little prompt showing us the length of the climb coming up, average grade, and a countdown to the distance until the start of the climb that is upcoming. And with that, when it starts, we get an audible alert, just like that, and away we go up the climb. Now, this is all defaults at the moment, so information on screen on the climbing page. We have time on the climb, so time elapsed. We have vertical meters to go. I'm set to meters. We have distance to go in kilometers. We have the current grade that we're on, an estimated end time, and of course, most important, we have the elevation profile shown in different colors as the grade gets a little steeper or shallower as we tick along the climb heading towards the summit. Now, what you're seeing here on screen are the defaults. These data fields cannot be changed. However, there is a little bit more information that we can get that I'll show you on the next climb. Now, as I approach the summit, I do get a turn-by-turn navigation alert, which then stops the word summit from appearing and telling me that I've reached the summit. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. However, let's have a look at the next climb, which has a few extra features that I was talking about. Okay, a few kilometers down the road, and it's pretty obvious why I'm in the car, not on the bike. The weather is absolutely terrible. Okay, approaching climb number 2, we have the pop-up indicating that the climb is coming up in just a few meters, and we have the notification the climb has started. Alrighty, now what you're seeing on screen here, as I said before, are the defaults. Now on the Wahoo Element units, we can use the 2 right side buttons to zoom in and zoom out and get more information. So I've just zoomed out there on the Roam, and I have just one data field and the elevation field. But if I zoom the other way, I can get some more information. So on screen now, we have the 3-second power average and also heart rate. If I had both of those things with me. Now I don't because I'm in the car, but that's additional information we can have on both screens, as I've just changed there on the Bolt 2. So whilst these data fields cannot be configured at this point in time, the supplied data fields give us enough information. I'd still like them to be customizable though. Approaching the end of this climb, and no turn-by-turn notifications getting in the way. We do have notification on screen there saying Summit. We have reached the finish of climb 2 of 5. So that's what you see there on screen when you finish the climbs, and it's on to the next and through the rain. It was at this point I pulled over to the side of the road and pulled up the completed climbs and upcoming climbs list, but I just was a little confused with the ordering. The completed climbs took precedence over the upcoming climbs. I'd rather see the upcoming climbs on the top of the list so I know what's coming up. I don't want to know what I've done in the past. I can look at that later on, but on the bike, I'd love to see those upcoming climbs listed at the top. Same goes over on the Bolt 2. If we just scroll through the pages there, scroll, and see it only shows completed climbs. It doesn't show upcoming climbs because there's not enough screen real estate. I have to scroll down to see what's coming up on this route. All in all, a neat and welcome update to compatible Wahoo head units with a few small refinements I'd like to see just to smooth out that user experience. Being able to customize those data fields on the climbing page would be great. I'd love to see the reordering of that completed summary page, just so we don't have to scroll down to see what's coming up. And ideally, and it goes without saying, I'd love to see these climbs be detected in freeride mode. That is a tough one to implement, but it is not impossible. Hammerhead are doing it on their Karoo units, and it is absolutely brilliant. I see this as a first step for Wahoo. Hopefully step 2 or 3, we'll be pulling up all that information in freeride modes without having to load a route. Fingers crossed. All right, as always, if you found this informative, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe to be alerted of new videos on this channel, and support what I'm up to here. It's much appreciated. We'll see you soon.